Anita Ekberg, a name synonymous with scandal and sensation. In a world captivated by Hollywood's golden era, she was the siren whose life off-screen was as dramatic as her on-screen persona. Imagine a blend of allure and controversy so potent it unsettled the very foundations of 1950s conservatism. From iconic fountains to whirlwind affairs, Ekberg wasn't just in the headlines, she was the headlines. But behind the glitz and glamour, a story untold, a life shrouded in mystery and whispers. This is more than a tale of a starlet. It's a journey into the heart of scandal itself. Brace yourself as we unravel the unsettling truth behind Anita Ekberg's scandalous life. From being in romantic relationships with married men to 2 whole divorces, apparently cheating her way into a pageantry competition, and so much more. In the end, you'd ask yourself a valid question. Was there any chance that she plunged into all those scandals on purpose? Were they all just publicity stunts and taking a crack at remaining relevant in the industry? The beginning. Anita Ekberg's journey began on September 29, 1931, in Malmö, Skåne, Sweden, where she was the 6th of 8 children. Even in her early years, there was a glimmer of the extraordinary that would define her later life. During her teenage years, Anita embarked on a career as a fashion model, showcasing an early flair for the world of glamour. In 1950, at her mother's encouragement, Anita entered the Miss Malmö competition, a decision that would alter the course of her life. Her victory paved the way for her to participate in the Miss Sweden contest, where once again she emerged as the winner. This triumph marked the beginning of her international journey. Despite facing the challenge of speaking very little English, Anita set her sights on the United States to compete for the 1951 Miss Universe title. It's worth noting that during this period, the pageant was still unofficial, only gaining official status in 1952. This bold move across the Atlantic showcased Anita's determination and marked the initial steps of a career that would transcend borders and captivate audiences worldwide. Anita's early experiences as a model and beauty queen laid the foundation for her later success in the entertainment industry. Little did she know that these humble beginnings would evolve into an iconic presence, leaving an indelible mark on Hollywood and shaping the narrative of a woman whose life was as fascinating as the roles she played on screen. Miss Universe scandal. One thing that Anita had to her credit was that she was incredibly beautiful, and throughout her life she never shied away from putting her beauty into good use. So, in the year 1951, a 20-year-old Anita took center stage as Sweden's representative in the glamorous Miss Universe pageant. She put up a stellar performance and did all that she could to win, but sadly, the crown eluded her. However, that singular venture put her in the spotlight. Her beauty, grace, and poise gained international recognition, and soon she was on the map. However, hold your horses, because after a while some nasty whispers and rumors began to swirl and a terrible scandal started brewing, making headlines all over the world. What was this scandal about? Well, only that Anita had altered her measurements for the pageantry to boost her chances of winning. She had lied and cheated her way in. A very serious allegation, no doubt, and it did nothing for her image. To everyone else, it was the end of her career. There was no going up from here, but fate has a very weird sense of humor, and it appeared that bad press was still press. Hollywood came knocking surprisingly, and soon Anita found herself on a plane to the United States armed with a promising movie contract. However, the Miss Universe scandal was still hanging around her neck. People called her names. Some said she was a fraud, others called her a cheat. As she tried to break into Hollywood, the scandal did nothing to help her career, and every single day she battled against critics. But little did she know it was just the beginning. Her time in Universal Studios. Anita Ekberg's early days as a starlet at Universal Studios were marked by a whirlwind of learning and opportunities. Under the studio's guidance, she underwent a comprehensive training regimen that encompassed various aspects of performance arts. Her curriculum included lessons in drama, elocution, dancing, horseback riding, and even fencing, providing her with a well-rounded skill set tailored for the demands of the silver screen. However, some people in the studios began to talk about how difficult it was to work with her and how she seemed to have eyes for almost every man in managerial positions. She was beautiful and had a magnetic appeal. She knew this and always used this to her advantage. During this period, Ekberg made her initial forays into the world of cinema. She had brief appearances in films like The Mississippi Gambler, 1953, alongside Tyrone Power, Abbott and Costello Go to Mars, in the same year, where she portrayed a woman on Venus, Take Me to Town with Ann Sheridan, and The Golden Blade featuring Rock Hudson and Piper Laurie. These early roles allowed her to showcase her burgeoning talent and charm. It was the beginning of something great in her life. However, Ekberg's time at Universal was not without its challenges. Despite the studio's efforts to mold her into a versatile actress, she admitted to occasionally skipping drama lessons. Instead, she found herself drawn to the allure of riding horses in the picturesque Hollywood hills, a decision that reflected her inclination towards outdoor pursuits and perhaps a resistance to conforming to the structured path set by the studio. In hindsight, Ekberg acknowledged that the studio system had spoiled her to some extent. Rather than diligently pursuing more significant film roles, she played and indulged in the pleasures afforded by her newfound stardom. This deviation from the expected path led to Universal's decision to part ways with Ekberg after just 6 months. Despite this early setback, Ekberg's journey in Hollywood would take unexpected turns, eventually leading her to international acclaim and iconic roles that defined her cinematic legacy. The Lul Vita Saga. Let's face it, Anita Ekberg has played many roles in dozens of films, but perhaps her most brilliant and most captivating performance was her role of Sylvia in the 1960 masterpiece, La Dolce Vita. It was an absolute hit and a sensation all over the world. Just like that, her career had climbed up the ladder, and once again, Anita was the amazing actress who stole hearts and applause with her performance. But just when you think it was getting better, it got worse, much worse. It turns out that one scene in the entire film got the attention of the media and world at large. It became an infamous scene where Anita was seductive and extremely provocative. You must remember that this was around the 60s, a little more conservative than what we have now. One by one, critics all over began to condemn the scene, and yet another scandal was brewing. It even got the attention of the Vatican, who in turn vehemently condemned not just the scene, but the entire film. You'd think that would be the worst of it, right? Wrong! Soon after, she found herself the subject of yet another scandal, this time a romance between her and Fellini, the producer of the film. While some believed they drew close because of the project, others felt they were getting too close for comfort. The burning question lingered. Was their chemistry purely professional, or was there something more? Almost like she fed off these rumors, Anita neither confirmed nor denied, leaving the public in suspense for years. Despite the challenges, this role catapulted her to international stardom. However, it also typecast her as the voluptuous temptress, a label she found hard to shake off throughout her career. Hollywood ups and downs. At this point, I'm sure you'll agree that Anita Ekberg seems to be a rumor and scandal magnet, and it also looks like she enjoys the attention to a degree. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Despite all the rumors and scandals that swirled around her Hollywood career, one of the most talked about chapters in Anita's life and career is the one with the legendary Frank Sinatra. Here's how it all went down. Anita met Sinatra for the first time in 1956, and with just one look, the two fell in love. Their chemistry was off the charts. It was so palpable that if you were around them, you could feel it. But as with most relationships in Hollywood, the couple couldn't seem to handle the heat of being committed. After a while, it began to go sour, and it was awful and ugly. There were public arguments between the two and the famous champagne bottle incident where violence was recorded. As terrible as all these were, the media didn't care. From gossip columns to whispering in Hollywood parties, the gossip kept spreading, and yet another scandal was underway. This one, however, affected both their relationships. But again, the saga with Sinatra was just the beginning. Anita's love life played out like a Hollywood blockbuster, linking her to heavyweights like Tyrone Power and Yul Brynner. The scandal with Power, married at the time, became an open secret in Hollywood circles, adding to Anita's already damaging reputation. Sadly, there is more to unpack. You see, Anita not only got herself entangled with inappropriate love affairs, she also seemed to have a thing for public feuds. One notable clash involved Sophia Loren during the filming of War and Peace in 1956. On-set clashes and snide comments to the press painted a picture of two leading ladies locked in a fierce rivalry. Her professional life faced its own set of challenges. During Four for Texas in 1963, Anita clashed with co-star Ursula Andress, prompting director Robert Aldrich to intervene. Reports circulated that Anita was challenging to work with, impacting her chances of landing major roles. Adding a layer of intrigue was her rumored involvement with the notorious Rat Pack, known for their wild parties and alleged ties to organized crime. Though not an official member, her connections to Sinatra and others fueled speculation about her participation in their more shadowy activities. And now, let's turn the page to the mysterious lawsuit with Rick Van Nutter in the early 1960s. This legal battle added another layer of scandal to Anita's already controversial life. Married to actor Rick Van Nutter, known for his role in Thunderball, their union ended in a lawsuit settled out of court. Details remained sketchy, shrouded in secrecy, and speculation ran wild. Was it a financial dispute, given Anita's well-known monetary troubles? Or did it delve into the personal realm, perhaps linked to Van Nutter's rumored infidelities or Anita's own complicated love life? The public was left in suspense as neither party spoke publicly about the lawsuit. What made it even more intriguing was its timing. Both Anita and Van Nutter were grappling with professional struggles. The lawsuit and subsequent divorce took an emotional toll on Anita, prompting a brief retreat from the public eye. While settled, the details remained locked away, creating a lasting mystery. Personal life crisis. Anita's personal life, like everyone else's, had its fair share of turbulence, but perhaps hers has a little spin to it. For some reason, despite her amazing beauty and charm, she just couldn't find love. Involved in a series of marriages, fleeting desires, and candid revelations, both of her unions were with actors, but neither found lasting success. Her first marriage was to Anthony Steele, beginning on May 22, 1956, and concluding with their divorce on May 14, 1959. Subsequently, she entered into a second marriage with Rick Van Nutter on April 9, 1963, which persisted until their divorce in 1975. So one thing was for sure, she was having no luck with a man, so she turned to love through something else. In a 2006 interview, Ekberg expressed a yearning for motherhood, a sentiment that appeared to evolve over time. However, her great love was Gianni Agnelli, the Italian industrialist and Fiat owner. Their relationship endured for several years despite Agnelli's marital status. Known for her outspokenness, Ekberg did not shy away from naming famous individuals she reportedly couldn't bear. Furthermore, she made a bold assertion in a 1999 interview claiming that it was Federico Fellini who owed his success to her rather than the other way around, challenging the narrative surrounding their professional collaboration. Despite her international acclaim, Ekberg distanced herself from Sweden after the early 1950s, seldom visiting her homeland. However, she occasionally opened her home outside Rome to Swedish journalists, and in 2005, she appeared on the popular radio program Summer, offering insights into her life. She expressed a desire not to move back to Sweden, but to be buried there. Legal challenges also marked Ekberg's life. In 1963, she faced a lawsuit from her publicist, and in 1977, she experienced robberies both in August and December. In her later years, Ekberg faced health challenges. In July 2009, she was admitted to San Giovanni Hospital in Rome after falling ill at her home in Genzano. Although her condition was not deemed serious, she was placed under observation. The challenges escalated in December 2011 when reports emerged that the 80-year-old Ekberg was facing financial difficulties after a hospitalization in Rimini, a broken hip, a home robbery, and significant damage to her villa by fire. In seeking assistance, she turned to the Fellini Foundation, which too was navigating challenging financial straits. Anita Ekberg's life, a tapestry of triumphs and tribulations, reflects the complexity of a woman who remained resilient in the face of personal and professional storms. Her legacy persists as a multifaceted narrative that transcends the silver screen, weaving together the glamour of Hollywood with the undeniable realities of life's unpredictability. Money problems. The drama behind Anita's money problems, sad as it was, is enough to play out like a soap opera. At a point in her life, she was rolling in dough. Her paychecks for each role she carried on were hefty and enticing. It would make anyone salivate at the sheer wealth coming her way. But all that ended in the late 1980s. Fate had other plans for our dear Anita Ekberg. In no time, she was staring down the barrel of financial ruin, and her once boisterous wealth was gone. Shocking, isn't it? This begs the question, why? What happened? What went wrong? Well, the reasons behind this downfall were many. Poor financial management, a series of failed investments, and costly legal battles that drained her resources. One significant financial setback came in the form of a legal dispute with her former manager, whom she accused of embezzlement. The case dragged on for years, not only consuming her finances, but also taking a toll on her emotional well-being. Despite emerging victorious, the legal fees left her in a precarious financial state. Adding to her woes was a devastating house fire in 1997 at her villa in Italy, which destroyed valuable memorabilia from her illustrious career. The insurance payout fell short of covering the damages, plunging her further into debt. By the early 2000s, Anita found herself living in a care home in Italy, sustained by financial contributions from fans and friends. It was a humbling end for a woman who had once epitomized glamour and success. Yet, even in her financial decline, Anita maintained a dignified demeanor, rarely speaking publicly about her struggles. The question lingers, did Anita Ekberg choose to live her final years in Italy to escape the public eye, or were there darker forces at play? The enigma surrounding her choices adds another layer to the complex narrative of her life, a story that transcends the glitz of Hollywood, revealing the resilience and grace of a woman facing adversity. The Italy Fiasco. Even in her later years, Anita just couldn't seem to catch a break. She made an innocent decision to travel to Italy, a seemingly innocent move, but not for Anita. When she was younger, Italy was where she had an affair in her La Dolce Vita days, and that was enough for the media to begin drawing speculations and making conclusions. The narrative was that she went to Italy because she was up to something secretive and wanted to be away from the prying eyes of the media. Some said she was in another love affair with a married man. Others said she had done something scandal-worthy back home and wanted to escape the media. Another speculation pointed to her estrangement from her family in Sweden, implying that seeking solitude in Italy was a way to distance herself from familial complexities. Despite the rumors swirling around her, Anita lived a relatively quiet life, far removed from the scandals and controversies that had once defined her. Rarely seen in public and granting interviews even less frequently, her secluded lifestyle fueled further speculations, including rumors about her health and well-being. The sad exit. Sadly, in 2015, Anita Ekberg passed away, leaving behind an enigma surrounding her final years. Anita Ekberg's remarkable journey came to an end on January 11, 2015, at the age of 83. Her final days were spent at the clinic San Raffaele in Rocca di Papa Roman castles, where she succumbed to complications arising from chronic illnesses. The actress had faced health challenges for some time, enduring the impact of chronic conditions. In the twilight of her life, Ekberg had been confined to a wheelchair, a consequence of a tragic incident. A few years earlier, she was knocked down by one of her pet Great Danes, resulting in a broken hip. This incident marked a somber chapter in her life, symbolizing the fragility that can accompany even the most vibrant existence. Her funeral service, a poignant gathering of friends, family, and admirers, took place on January 14, 2015, at the Lutheran Evangelical Christuskirche in Rome. Following the service, her body was cremated in accordance with her wishes. Ekberg's final resting place became the cemetery of Skåne Church in Sweden, her land of birth. This decision reflected her deep connection to her roots and her desire to return to the soil that witnessed the beginning of her extraordinary journey. Anita Ekberg's passing marked the conclusion of a life that had traversed the heights of fame, the depths of personal challenges, and the enduring legacy of an iconic figure in the annals of Hollywood. Her story, a tapestry woven with triumphs, tribulations, and unwavering spirit, continues to resonate, leaving an indelible mark on the pages of cinematic history. Her departure raised more questions than answers, adding another layer of complexity to her already multifaceted life. The mystery of why she chose Italy, the rumors that surrounded her, and the quiet solitude she sought in her later years continue to captivate, ensuring that Anita Ekberg's legacy is as enigmatic as it is enduring. Memoir speculations. Sure, Anita no doubt had her fair share of scandalous moments, but for the most part, these scandals were still just mysteries. Usually, Anita never commented or denied anything, neither did she concede. So, you can imagine the excitement when rumors swirl that she was writing a memoir while alive. This was it. It was going to be the point of reference that can pinpoint everything Anita was ever involved in. There will be no more speculations, no more secrets. It would all be laid bare. The anticipation was palpable, but to the disappointment of many, the memoirs never saw the light of day. Now, once again, everyone was led to speculate as to why it was never published. The word on the streets was that it was probably too controversial and would definitely indict some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Also, she may have been threatened by some of these biggest names to cease the writing and publishing altogether because they would be negatively affected. Others proposed that Anita herself chose not to publish it, perhaps fearing the impact on her own legacy. Then there are whispers that the manuscript met its end in the 1997 fire at her Italian villa, lost forever to history. Which of these do you think is closer to the truth? Whatever the reason, the absence of her memoirs leaves a gaping hole in our understanding of both Anita Ekberg and Hollywood's golden age. It's a missing puzzle piece in the enigmatic life of a woman who was as complex as she was captivating. If you enjoyed this glimpse into Anita's mysteries, it beckons you to ponder what untold stories and revelations might have been contained within those lost pages, an eternal enigma that adds another layer of fascination to her already intricate narrative. If you enjoyed this riveting story of Anita Ekberg, then wait till you hear about the Queen of Horror herself, Ingrid Pitt. Click here to check that out.